So has the Kolkata rape and murder case now become a political battlefield? Is the fight for justice losing out to politics once again? Has this only now become Mamata Banerjee versus the BJP? Is there outrage that is selective when it comes to rape cases? What happens to doctors' safety? Is that getting lost in the din? I want to once again make a disclosure. My wife is a Trinamool Congress MP, but I will continue to ask all the questions to all sides, and I can assure you that. Joining me now is Dr. Kunal Sarkar, cardiologist, eminent cardiologist from Kolkata, who's been raising these issues about doctors' safety. Shikha Mukherjee is a leading political commentator based in Kolkata. Sanju Verma is the evergreen national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And also joining me is Dr. Shashi Panja, West Bengal's minister in the Mamata government. And to you, Shashi Panja, I want to come first, because today the West Bengal chief minister is heard saying in a video, Modi Babu, you should remember that your attempt to burn Bengal using your party will backfire, as the fire will not be restricted to just my state. It will spread to Assam, Northeast, UP, Bihar, Odisha, even Delhi will be affected. We will bring you down. Now, isn't that incitement to violence? The BJP says, Hemanta Biswa Sarma says, how can you start talking about spreading the fires beyond Bengal? This is incitement to violence.
First of all, good evening, and I appreciate your disclosure, which you just mentioned. And we all know that you are very unbiased. Now, coming to the, you see, how did this situation build up? You know what has been happening. The protests of the civil society or the doctors over the horrific crime which took place, which is so very organic. Now, what is the political party BJP doing is orchestrated hooliganism, rowdyism, which we saw since yesterday. It should not have happened. Rape is not something where there should be political differences. Rape and the fight against it and murder, rape and murder, these issues are societal issues, and we should leave our political differences aside, and we should have a political consensus to fight against it. Now, unfortunately, yesterday, the rally which took place in the name of a banner which is not very well known, but it was more than obvious that BJP was planning it all and also participated in it. But what we saw at the end of the day was vandalism. Now, BJP...
No, explain Mamata ma'am, but explain Mamata Banerjee's statement. You're not addressing the question. Explain her statement when she says the fire will spread beyond Bengal.
What I'm trying to get at. Sure. So who is inciting, Rajdeep? Who is doing the incitement? You see, we have exercised tremendous restraint, and we are very focused on the investigation to catch the culprits. But who has tried to digress this issue and make it a political agenda is BJP. And whoever is in cahoots with them, maybe the CPM too. Now, why she has to say this? Look at the bleeding policeman yesterday. The policeman did not fire. There was no dead, no bullets. Absolutely, it was to be a peaceful demonstration, which was, these were announcements there. If you would have been in Calcutta, you would have heard requesting that let it be peaceful demonstrations. They were more than welcome. But there was definitely a nefarious agenda, and it ended up with such violence. Okay. So who is actually inciting this?
Okay, you made your point.
The incitement is coming from the political party, and he has responded.
Ma'am, you made your point.
Let Sanju... We are very cosmopolitan, Rajdeep, you must understand.
Let Sanju Verma respond, because Sanju Verma, today I started the show with a policeman, a constable, who has lost his left eye. And the truth of the matter is, the visuals that we saw yesterday, people were throwing bricks, and they were hardly looking like students, ma'am. And the general belief is that the BJP was behind these student protesters, some unknown organization, and a policeman loses his eye. Who's going to pay the price for bricks? You all tell the courts it will be a peaceful protest, and then bricks are thrown at a police officer. I mean, surely there should be some, when you go in for a peaceful protest on a Bandh, who's accountable when a policeman loses his eye, ma'am?
Thank you, Rajdeep. And first and foremost, I must applaud the fact that you have disclosed that your wife, Sagarika Ghosh, is a Rajya Sabha MP from the Trinamool Congress, and you have no conflict of interest, and you will ask equally tough questions of both the sides. Having said that, Rajdeep, let me make one thing very, very clear. What is happening in Kolkata today is not about the BJP. What is happening in Kolkata today is about three things. A, Mamata Banerjee as the Chief Minister has failed the citizens of West Bengal. Two, Mamata Banerjee as the Home Minister has failed the citizens of West Bengal. And three, the very incompetent Mamata Banerjee, by virtue of also being the Health Minister of West Bengal, has failed the citizens of West Bengal. Point number two, is there any room for hooliganism or vandalism in civil society? The unequivocal answer is no, irrespective of where that violence emerges from. But I want to draw your attention and the attention of your audience to a very important point, because I think this will set the tone of what is to come in the next few minutes of your debate. People from different parties have been telling me, I've been on a zillion debates on the show, अरे रेप तो उत्तर प्रदेश में भी होता है, रेप तो उत्तराखंड में भी होता है, रेप तो त्रिपुरा में भी होता है. Much as I hate to admit it, yes, rapes are being committed with brazen impunity. We as conscientious citizens need to wake up. But what makes the Kolkata RG Kar Hospital rape and death case very, very disturbing, extremely disturbing for me, not only as the national spokesperson of the BJP, but as an empowered, independent thinking woman, is that the only woman Chief Minister of India had the audacity, her state had the audacity to first pass off this gruesome, blood-curdling rape as just a suicide. The Supreme Court and the High Court have asked one question to the West Bengal dispensation. Why was an FIR filed so late?
Ma'am,
Why was it not
you're not
filed?
again, much like Shashi Panja, I have to get you on the question. Yesterday's protests involved violence. You said you have no place for hooliganism. The truth is the hooligans were there, and the accusation is the BJP was completely involved with the hooligans. Just a minute, ma'am. You must listen. Both the Congress and the left have also made the same accusation, that this protest has now been taken over by the BJP, and the BJP resorted to hooliganism because you want to bring down the Mamata Banerjee government. That somehow you want to create a law and order situation.
Rajdeep, I was coming to that. See, you know, the TMC got a free run now. I don't
No,
expect
they
you
were
to give
asked.
me a
You
free
will
run.
also be asked, ma'am. You cannot get away. Please answer.
I will answer. Now I don't want you to disrupt.
Sure.
Right? Because you hate the word heckle.
Sure.
You said BJP has engineered this hooliganism, and who says this? The TMC.
No,
TMC
the Congress
did
left.
it.
The Congress and the
Can
left
I
also.
finish? Can I finish? You
Yeah,
did not
please.
heckle the TMC. Can I finish?
Please, ma'am.
Or I will leave the debate.
Please, ma'am.
Like you say, law
Please
of the
speak.
fader.
Please
Today
speak.
I am challenging you.
Please
Do
speak.
not heckle. Thank you. Do not heckle. I will repeat. Rajdeep Sardesai's audience, please listen to this. Who is accusing the BJP of engineering hooliganism? It is TMC. Who is accusing the BJP of engineering the Gundagardi? It is the Congress. Who is accusing the BJP of engineering the violence in Bengal? It is the entire Rahul Gandhi-led cabal and ecosystem from the other side. We are all political parties. If today I say that Mamata Banerjee has engineered the hooliganism to actually divert attention from the RG Kar rape, will you believe me? You will say, Sanju Verma, that is a reckless allegation. Do you have proof? So let us now speak about what the court said. Kolkata High Court is not the BJP's Kharida Hua Gulam. Kolkata High Court Acting Chief Justice said this, Rajdeep, there is an absolute failure of the state machinery under the current dispensation of Mamata Banerjee. Supreme Court is not a Kharida Hua Gulam of Narendra Modi. Kya bola Supreme Court ne? Do you know that? Justice Chandrachud said that what has happened is blood-curdling, and in his 30 years, he and Justice Pardiwala have not come across an incident where there has been such a brazen mishandling
I will
of the
again
law
stop
and
you
order
now and move on
machinery.
because I will not allow on a sensitive issue the audience to be misled. Justice Pardiwala made that comment. It was subsequently clarified by Justice Chandrachud in the court. after the time, minute by minute details were given of what happened. But
Do you believe
no,
Mamata
ma'am,
Banerjee should
I put both the politicians.
Do you believe
Ma'am,
Mamata
I have
Banerjee
two more
should
guests.
resign?
I will come back to you. Don't worry. I will
Do you
come
believe
back.
Mamata
I will
Banerjee
not
should
let
resign?
you.
Yes or no?
Ma'am, I am now. I will now come to my other guest.
Do you believe Mamata Banerjee should resign, Rajdeep? Please.
That's your
answer as a
view?
conscientious journalist.
Okay,
Yes or no?
you believe that that's for you
Sure,
to decide.
I'm
You're saying
asking
she
you.
should resign.
No,
You're
because
saying
you
she
have
should
said
resign.
many
I will ask
times-
Kunal Sarkar
No,
that question.
you always
Kunal
ask the
Sarkar,
BJP.
just a minute, ma'am. Kunal Sarkar, you were among the first to raise your voice on this issue of the rape and murder. You're seeing what has happened. Please put a fader. You're seeing what has happened in the last few days. Do you believe, according to Sanju Verma, Mamata Banerjee should resign? She says she should resign, and she says BJP has nothing to do with this hooliganism. Your response?
Rajdeep, the response would be that that was not neither the prerogative or the perspective with which the people at large or the medical community in particular was expressing their concerns ever since the 9th of August. Now, the question, sadly, this evening is that has this agenda been completely hijacked or partially hijacked by the very well-rehearsed, boring, tedious, violent, destructive, disruptive, political skullduggery that we have seen ad nauseum. What was the core issue of the movement, of the civil society movement and the doctors' movement so far? Point number one was people were wanting an expeditious and a conclusive closure to the crime, to the case. Point number two was the medical community absolutely unanimously pointed out to the government, to the health secretary, that this crime was a culmination, was in some ways a bizarre result of some of the cartelization, the funny practices that were happening in West Bengal's healthcare administrative system. That has to be fixed. The confidence of the serving doctors, especially the junior doctors, has to be reclaimed, and then normalcy will resume.
No, but
the
question is, the opposition says, at least the BJP says, Mamata Banerjee should resign. They are saying it's about, their argument is the chief minister is the health minister, the chief minister is the home minister, and therefore she should resign. Is that what the doctors want? When you say you want restoration of normalcy, what will it take? The Supreme Court has also asked you to come back to work, but the junior doctors are not. So what do you want that will restore this sense of normalcy?
The doctors, Rajdeep, in their meetings with the health secretary in the various memorandum they have given, have pointed out very clearly that they still consider certain troublesome extraneous elements, of whom Sandeep Ghosh is just an example, to be present in the system. That needs to be flushed out. That needs to be made accountable. The medical colleges and the hospitals needed to be made safe for the youngsters to work in.
Do they want the chief minister to resign?
There was nothing about the chief minister's resignation as far as the doctors' movement and as far as the various memorandum submitted by 7 or 8 forum of doctors were concerned. It is an absolute tragedy. It is an absolute tragedy at this point that this movement, that this the angst, the concerns, the sincere concerns of the community is really a witness to this banal act of political violence. And the question remains that has the civil society lost out partially or completely?
Okay.
Because we are afraid that from this evening onwards, absolutely, unendingly, incessantly, the entire focus will be diverted to this political tu-tu-me-me, and we have already...
Okay, I take your point, doctor. I take your point. That's your concern. But Shikha Mukherjee, many will say Mamata Banerjee is being hoisted by her own petard. When she was in the opposition, she would take out the left, she would hit the streets. Now the BJP is doing it. Has this become part of the political culture in a way of Bengal, this violence, which tragically, as I said, has led to a policeman today losing his eye? And none of the politicians are showing any empathy for that poor policeman, because it's all about how do you bring down a government.
Yeah, you're right, Rajdeep. This is the politics of confrontation, political confrontation. The politics and political confrontation began from yesterday. It is because this organization which said it would hold a peaceful demonstration turned violent. Now, this organization itself is rather dubious.
Is it a BJP organization? Let's cut the chase. Is it a BJP? Was yesterday's protest organized by the BJP or not?
Yes, because they had a press conference a day before that, and they said that we are the people who called for the demonstrations yesterday were said that we are members of the BJP and the RSS. So there's no sort of ambiguity on who they were.
And what do they gain? What do you believe the BJP gains from this?
What the BJP gains from it is that as soon as the protest turned violent, which was anticipated, I anticipated it. Most of us journalists anticipated that this would happen, because Naban Obhijan means you're hitting the headquarters of the state government. Obviously, there's going to be there's violence. And 1993. Let's go back to 1993. Mamata Banerjee hit the streets. She was heading for Writers' Building, and there was violence. Yes.
So is that violence now, unfortunately, a part of the culture of Bengal?
Well, from 1993 and even earlier, yes, it has always been so, and it will be so. I remember this. I don't remember seeing it, but I know of Jyoti Basu gheraying the assembly and trying to clamber over the gates. So, yes, this is part of the political violence.
Okay, let me bring in Sanju Verma again, because Sanju Verma, the BJP has it by doing what you're doing. There are pictures there of Shuvendu Adhikari. He's hitting the street every day. Shukanto Majumdar. Are you losing the moral high ground? What started, as Kunal Sarkar says, as a genuine organic protest of civil society is being hijacked by the BJP because you lost the elections, according to the TMC, and therefore are doing whatever it takes to somehow or the other bring the government down. How do you respond? Have you taken over an organic protest of civil society, ma'am?
Now I will answer, and please allow me the time. First and foremost, since 2014, since the time Narendra Modi came to power, there is an entire ecosystem. And with no offense to Rajdeep Sardesai, he is the famous TV anchor of a famous news channel. हर वक्त मुझे यही सुनने को मिलता है, हवा बदल रही है, हवा बदल रही है. If Rahul Gandhi protests, that's his fundamental right. हवा बदल रही है मोदी के खिलाफ. If Himanta Biswa Sarma protests, क्यों किया? If Yogi Adityanath protests, क्यों किया? If Tripura में जहां बीजेपी की सरकार है, if we start asking questions as to why the opposition in Tripura is engaging in hooliganism, which is what they did prior to the February 2023 assembly elections, we were said, why are you clamping down on dissent? Dissent and dialogue are the oxygens of democracy, wrote Sagarika Ghosh in an op-ed column in 2020 December.
There is no place for violence. I hope you agree with that. Dissent does not involve violence. 1 minute, ma'am. Dissent, you have every right. Do you have a right to be violent?
I will finish. I will not misquote you. Protest is a way to strengthen the democratic system. Protest is not something that weakens our democratic system. The entire cabal of op-ed writers, the entire cabal of YouTube influencers, the entire cabal which has been...
But when farmers protested, you call them Khalistanis. When farmers protest, you call them Khalistanis. JNU students protest peacefully, you call them anti-national. And if I suggest that dissent can't be protest...
Are you a panelist? Can I finish, Rajdeep?
Ma'am, please answer.
I will answer. Can you stop heckling?
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes. Rajdeep Sardesai, you gave a disclaimer. Now stop being the husband of Sagarika.
No. That you can say. I'm asking you a straight question. You don't like my question.
Change. Yes, I'm answering. I want to ask you one thing, Rajdeep. With a hand on your heart, you tell me. I have done difficult shows on your channel. And I know that you are a difficult anchor, but I always come on your shows because I expect you to be fair. Sometimes I'm disappointed, sometimes I'm not. When there's a problem in Uttar Pradesh, you ask Sanju Verma, will Yogi Adityanath resign? When there was a problem in Manipur, you ask Sanju Verma, will the Manipur Chief Minister resign? When there's a problem in Assam, you ask Sanju Verma,
Shashi Panja, answer that. Okay, you made a good question. Let me take that directly, ma'am. Directly. Don't worry. Ma'am, don't worry. हम किसी से डरते नहीं. Shashi Panja. No, 1 minute, ma'am. Now you must let me ask Shashi Panja. She's listened quietly. Shashi Panja, Sanju Verma says, when Manipur, there is violence that results in more than 200 people dead over 13 months, you all want Biren Singh to resign. If there is a rape and murder in Hathras, you want Yogi Adityanath to resign. Now there's been a rape and murder in a government college, a college where you were a doctor, you were trained as a doctor. Mamata Banerjee, health minister, home minister, should she resign? According to the BJP, you can't have different rules. They want the chief minister to resign.
Rajdeep, I think we need to be a little bit more civil in this discussion, and primarily we should not digress from the very fact that the investigation is on and we are waiting for the culprits to be held. Today this so-called 12-hour bandh, which BJP declared, during this so-called bandh which they had announced, and there was again hooliganism, there was also a very civil rally protests held by the junior doctors, in which they are demanding justice from CBI. They are waiting for the outcome of the investigation. Rajdeep, for us, we are deeply anguished by this incident. Today, Mamata Banerjee announced, and on 2nd of September, a special session of the West Bengal Legislative Assembly will be called because we want to introduce the death penalty as a swift to be swift.
Ma'am, but a state government can't do that. Ma'am, with due regard, that has to be done. No, 1 minute. Shashi Panja, a law on capital punishment for rape cannot be brought in by a state assembly. It has to be brought in at the center.
We are talking of a reforms first approach.
So bring it in parliament.
Reforms first approach, and this is why. And this, parliament should do it. Can you recall, Rajdeep, there were times when the parliament was not in session, ordinances were brought in because it was not in session. Well, they could do it. And for this very similar reason, Honorable Chief Minister wrote to the Honorable Prime Minister that we have to have swift action.
Law and order is a state subject.
Should also be swift. If Sanhita, may I speak?
Okay,
I have not said a word.
Sanju Verma, she showed you the courtesy of not interfering with you, ma'am.
Please keep quiet. I didn't butt in.
I will not keep quiet.
We've had very harsh experiences with
Ma'am, both of you are,
because
ma'am, Sanju Verma, you cannot, she's been very quiet. She listened to you patiently. Shashi Panja, I ask you again. How is a state assembly saying there should be death penalty for rape? That's for the judiciary and for parliament to decide. It can't be done in a state assembly. You're simply trying to get back the lost narrative.
Try to understand. No. Try to understand that the death penalty is there, but we are looking for swift action. There have to be timelines, and that we can always introduce.
Okay.
Aren't the resident doctors also asking for timelines?
Let me ask that. Let me ask that to Dr. Kunal Sarkar.
You have an incident like Nirbhaya, and 8 years it took to bring justice to Nirbhaya.
Let me ask that to Kunal
Sarkar.
Sarkar.
Speedy action.
Yeah, okay. You made your point, ma'am. Kunal Sarkar, the truth of the matter is there is an investigation. Lost in this din is the fact that the CBI, I had a top lawyer 2 days ago who said this seems a open and shut case. The DNA is matching. The CBI can easily file a charge sheet at the very earliest. Is that what the doctors want at the end? When you say justice, if the culprit has been caught, the right accused has been caught, is that the first step to ensure what you call normalcy? Is that what you mean by justice?
Rajdeep, one part of the quest for justice is, of course, that. The other part of the quest for justice is to make the working environment for the doctors safe and sensible. Some cleansing has to happen in the West Bengal Health Service Administration. There has been a lot of extraneous influences.
Shashi Panja, will that happen? Shashi Panja, here is a Kolkata top cardiologist, Dr. Sarkar, saying clean up the system. You don't clean it up. Absolutely. Then you have no right to govern.
Yes. No. Have we ever said that we are a perfect government? We
Will you clean up the system?
Have imperfections, and I think this has to be corrected. We are not defending Yes, we will. Yes, we will. I know what Dr. Sharkar is trying to indicate, and we are aware of this, and this kind of corruption, etc., cannot take place. In fact, for that matter, CBI has been questioning the former principal, and why should there be so many economic irregularities and such
Yes, but
irregularities?
it didn't take a, ma'am, it didn't take a rape and murder for you all to wake up to what was happening in the RG Car Hospital. That is where the government also is suffering today from a credibility deficit. The truth of the matter is the investigation is one part.
Rajdeep, don't put it that way.
Okay, no, well, there is no other way to put it, ma'am, at the moment. I'm being blunt. I'm being direct. That's the only way to put it. But I do hope that is the focus. Clean up the system and ensure that that the culprit is given swift punishment. Once you do that, then you can claim that you've restored an element of credibility. And for the BJP, the message is clear. Hitting the street and then injuring a police officer who loses his eye is hooliganism. That should not be acceptable. So both the parties in their own way hopefully will introspect as to what they've done wrong. Because we the people only want a better... Ma'am, just a minute. I'm just...
Proof it was BJP which injured the policeman.
So you're saying, okay.
For God's sake.
Okay, the student protesters had nothing to do. Okay. Your point is student protesters had nothing to do with the BJP. Okay, fair enough.
Don't make allegations like a TMC spokesperson.
Okay, ma'am, that's your argument. Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. I appreciate you joining us. You're saying that none of the BJP had anything to do with what happened on the street. We will take your point of view for that. We leave it to the viewers to judge who were those who were throwing those stones yesterday in Kolkata.